The next section of the admin side of the portal that we will cover is this archive databases section. This is where you will go to add, edit, or remove any databases that are in your system. And what do we mean by databases? These are the individual locations where the data are being stored for what you're harvesting. And you will select these databases when you're starting a harvest so that Tracer knows where to store all of the individual data that it's extracting from your models that you've selected. In our system, we have several different databases set up that are for individual clients and studies that we're doing there. That's where that blurry text is in the video. And that probably doesn't apply to your situation. In most cases, we recommend having a staging database here. That's where you're sending information that you aren't necessarily ready to have immortalized in your permanent database, your single source of truth. And then we have the production database, and that is where you send your data when it's ready to belong as a part of that library of information that you're accessing and trusting as a source of truth. In addition to these two databases, you do have the ability to add databases. And to do that, you can type in a database name. I'm naming it this so that I don't confuse any of my teammates who might be using the system currently. And then you can select which users have access to the system. In this case, I can avoid confusing my teammates entirely by only selecting myself. So I am creating this database. I'm able to access it, and it's called demo delete me. So now we can see here that that demo is created. There are no documents that have been harvested for that demo. There's no last upload date, but this is where that information would populate once a model has been accessed from it. And if I do a drop down on it, I can see that I'm the only user. The reason that I have two user IDs in the system is that one is tied to my Proving Ground email address login, and one is tied to a Microsoft email address login, but they're both me. I can also go in and edit the database. I can edit the user access. I cannot edit the name. So once you've created a database, or while you're creating a database, it's very important to remember that you don't get a second chance to redo the name of the database. You'll want to double check your spelling and make sure that that's the name that you want to use going forward. I'm also able to select this trash can icon and delete the database. Once a database is deleted, you cannot undelete it. That data is gone from your library, and in this case, we don't have any data there on that database, and we created it just for this demo, so I will proceed with deleting it. The next section is the Documents section. So when you select on the Documents section, let me switch to our staging database. This is where you can see all of the individual Revit documents that have been harvested and their upload dates, information about which Revit version they are, and the user which uploaded them. If for some reason you harvested a document into an incorrect database, for example, or you had a bad harvest that contained data that isn't accurate that you didn't want to include in that database, you could delete that file if you select on this trash can icon. Once you've deleted a file out of your database, you cannot undelete it. You would have to then reharvest that model, and that could be difficult if you were, for example, trying to harvest the same model at different points in time. It might be difficult for you to go back and find that model state at that previous point in time to replace the model. So please ensure that you're deleting the right harvest of the model that you want to be deleted from the system before you proceed with that.